Hi, thanks for joining us for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. I'm Chris Cooper. Everyone likes a great looking lawn. Today we're going to take a look at several varieties of turf grass. Also, there are some plants that are more effort than they are worth. Today we will talk about plants to avoid and what to replace them with. That's just ahead on the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South.
Production funding for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South is provided by Goodwin's Landscape and Garden Center in Germantown since 1943 and continuing to offer its plants for successful gardening with 7 greenhouses and 3 acres of plants, plus comprehensive landscape services. International Paper Foundation, the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to the Family Plot. I'm Chris Cooper. Joining me today is Booker T. Lee. Booker is a UT Extension agent right here in Shelby County, and Carol Reese will be joining us later. All right, Booker, we're at the Shelby County Extension Turf Plot demonstration.
Yes, glad to be out here too. Thank you for coming out here to do this here.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
Yeah, because you know in Shelby County we get a lot of phone calls. You know, people grow a lot of grass here, and then they be calling us what grass do well in Shelby County. So we decided to put a turf plot out and let folks see the different variety of grass that grow here.
Good idea.
And then these one we got right here now. And if you look at it, we put in 6 varieties right now.
Okay.
We're gonna put in some more later on. We should have at least overall 10 different varieties of grass that grow here in Shelby County. And what's so good about it, you can get all these grasses here in Shelby County.
Good, locally.
And local, that's good. So we really appreciate that.
Okay.
And we can go through them right now.
Okay, let's do that.
First one, you got Discover Bermuda grass. You see it have a dark green color here, and the wear resistant very good, excellent good and wear resistant. On all our grass that we have here now, they need a soil pH between 6.0 and 6.5.
Okay.
And it's a real pretty dark green grass. It's kind of like it's not a real fast growing grass. It's kind of grow kind of slow here in there. So, this plot here was started here last year in September.
Okay.
Discover Bermuda grass.
Okay.
When I say Bermuda grass, everybody knows about a warm season grass.
Right.
Very good variety. And the height, you want to keep it somewhere between at least about 2 inches tall.
Okay.
And then you can do your lawnmower and put it on the side there and keep it that tall. You see, like maybe have a little weeds in it now, but if you can easily spray and get the weeds out of there.
Okay.
It's a very good grass. It's a dark green color. You can see the dark green in there. More like a dark green, blue light kind of grass.
Yeah, nice color. All right, you ready to go to the next
Ready-
plot?
I'm ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Booker, so what do we have here?
We have Celebration. This is another variety of Bermuda grass, and I said Bermuda grass, and they're still talking about warm season grass.
Okay.
See, this is Bermuda grass. This has got a dark blue color.
Yeah.
You can kind of look at it and tell here. And this is a very good spring green up. Early in the springtime, you see probably when your first grass start to green up in there.
Okay.
And one thing about Celebration, it uses less fertilizer. You don't have to do a whole lot of fertilizer on this grass here, and it still do well.
Oh, that's good. That's a reason to celebrate, huh?
Yeah, Celebrate. And you want to keep about 2 inches tall, 2.5 inches tall in there, and the pH is very same, about 6.0 to 6.5.
Okay.
And one thing about this grass in there, it'll do well in any kind of soil that you have in your yard. You got a sandy soil in there to do really good in sandy soil too, and everything in there. And it's pretty good drought retardant too.
Okay.
Just like Discover drought retardant. This is a good drought retardant grass too. Fall color, it'll be real pretty fall color in there when it start going dormant in there. So this is a Celebration here, Bermuda grass in there and everything. You can come out and watch this here and look at it and see what you like about this grass here.
All right, you can celebrate it.
Celebrate.
All right, you ready to go to the next plot?
Ready to go to the next one.
All right.
This is a very good grass here now.
Okay.
This is a Latitude now.
Latitude.
And I think it's kind of like a new grass there in there. We don't hardly see lots of it here.
Okay.
But it's a real good grass here. It have a dark green color. You might can look at the color here and see how it looking.
You can definitely tell.
And this kind of disease resistant. And the spring green up is excellent.
Okay.
Green up. You see how it look right now here? Got a real good color in there. And go to seeds here real good and everything. It's a really pretty grass. Latitude is a really good grass in there that we have in here. More and height about the same thing, 2.5, 2 inches tall.
Okay.
And then during the hot summertime, you might want to keep just a little higher in there to protect those root system in there.
Right.
Make sure they and water, you know, like I said, all of them probably need about 1 inch of water a week. Some of them might be a little drought tolerant than that, but you give them 1 inch of water, you're doing great in there.
Okay. I see you like this one.
I kind of like this too, because you know, if you get to walk on it, you can kind of feel how it feels so soft and kind of in there. You can kind of feel the texture and the different than we already walked across.
Yeah,
And
can tell the
I kind
difference.
of like this here, though. And we just see how I perform in the hot summer and how I do well here, so it's good. And
Okay.
we did this here in also in September.
Okay.
Last year.
We go to the next
Let's go
plot?
to the next one now. Now, Chris, we're going to the next one now. This gonna be something different about this grass here now. The other was Bermuda grass. This is Georgia grass right here. Then and the name is Palisade.
Okay.
No, you don't hear a lot about Palisade.
Palisade.
Palisade a lot of time. It's going around. People say I love Palisade in the shade and everything. Do real well in the shade. It do pretty good. It do pretty good in the shade and stuff in there. But it still need 3 to 4 hours of sun a day.
Still.
It still needs 3 or 4
Still
hours.
need
of
that. Okay.
One thing about Georgia grass, it's a warm season grass. It's just like Bermuda grass. It's go dormant in the fall of the year. But don't fertilize your Georgia grass until after June the 1st. I know you haven't done that, so we don't do that in there.
So if you do it before June the 1st, what'll happen?
You're putting on more disease problem.
Ah.
That's what happened. You put on a lot of disease problem on there. So this is what did that. If you June the 1st be a good time to do that in
So
that.
after June the
Fertilize
1st.
that.
I never knew
And-
that before. That's good.
Yeah, and also the soil pH between 6.0 and 6.5.
Okay.
And I said we talk about soil pH a lot, but the only way you can tell the soil pH is by doing the soil test on there.
Okay.
The mowing height, and we can go to a Georgia grass here. You might want to keep it a little taller, and maybe 2.5 to 3 inches taller than that sometimes, especially if you get real hot weather.
Okay.
It'll do good in there. Georgia grass needs very little fertilizer when you do start growing in there. So this is a very good grass here, but it still needs 3 to 4 hours sun a day.
Still.
A lot of people think
Okay.
it do good in shade, but it do need 3 to 4 hours sun a day.
Okay.
But it's very good shade grass that you want to try and see how it do. But you
right.
come out here and look at it and see how it look out here. You'd be very excited to come out here and watch it.
All right. Yeah, because you're right. Folks have heard of Palisade.
Have been here Palisade,
they've
yeah,
heard
it's
of that.
very great. And this is where it's looking, and you look at the blade different too, the
Yeah,
wires
you
of
can
the
tell the
blade and
difference.
everything in there. See how the blade look in there.
Okay.
So it's very good.
All right. So you ready to check out
So
the next plot?
one, yeah. Let's
All
see
right.
the next one, yeah.
Hey, I heard you talk a lot about Royal, Georgia.
Royal is good. This is Georgia grass also, 2.9. We talking about Royal. It's just like Bermuda grass is a warm season grass. But one thing about this Royal, can you feel the difference?
I
when you walk
can.
on here?
I sure
feel,
can.
feel good, don't you?
I can feel the difference.
Royal and Palisade, but Royal is very excellent shade.
Okay.
And you have some shade here, but you got to keep water on it though. You like a lot of water, and it requires a lot of nitrogen fertilizer. Once it starts out, the height you want to keep it about 3 inches tall. But one thing about Royal, it's very slow growing. You don't have to worry about doing a whole lot of cutting on there. So.
Okay.
The wear resistance is good. Because a lot of times people have these when they have concentrate things there in the shade of
Yeah.
the tree, they put some raw Georgia out there. Look at the color on there. Look at the color in there. Look at that dark green color in that raw. It look good on it.
It looks good.
And you just walk on how it feel, how the texture feel on there. You can feel it different in this raw.
Almost like carpet.
I mean, like carpet grass in there. This is a good grass in raw. Raw Georgia. You want to try that? A lot of shade retardant.
All right.
Okay, now.
You want to check out the next
Check out
plot?
the next one here.
Okay.
This is Georgia too. Now this is called Geo Georgia. And you probably not heard a whole lot about this here. No, I haven't heard a whole lot about this Georgia
No,
here.
I haven't.
But it's a real good Georgia here and everything. And it do well. One thing, it's kind of slow growth grass in there. Don't grow real fast in there. You see, you have like a dark green color. Might not be darker somewhere, but it have a dark green color in there. And it's good for home use too. And everything
Okay.
in there. Cause a lot of folks want that Georgia grass in the yard. And this is kind of like a new variety. We just trying this out too and see how it do. in
So
here.
this is something we don't know that much about right now.
Not right now, but we're
just
trying
finding out.
to find out a little more about this here and everything. So we're trying out here in the trial to see how I do. So probably about a year or so, and we can see how I do out here, how we're gonna do in the heat, summer, and also in the winter time when it start coming in.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I hope the folks come on out, Boogie, because this is a real good turf plot demonstration. We appreciate you doing
Well,
this.
thank you, I appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate it.
There are a number of gardening events going on in the next couple of weeks. Here are just a few that might interest you. All right, Ms. Carroll, plants to avoid in their replacements. Where do you want to start with that?
Gosh, I want to say, where do you want to start? Because as an agent, we get the calls over and over and over about the same plants, don't we? So,
Well, let me toss this to you. You know about the Bradford pears, right?
well, how many times do we hear that about Bradfords, and how many times have we been talking about replacing it? But finally, we're getting to the point, I think, that we're seeing fewer and fewer as they go out. People
So
are
finally
coming.
we're getting there, right?
I think
Okay.
so.
Good. Okay.
So Bradfords are one, of course, we need to talk about replacing, not only the fact that they're brittle and break, but that they reseed like mad and become a real problem in the landscape. But let's kind of just lump that in with some other spring blooming trees
Okay.
that we continue to see problems with. I love our native dogwood, but it's really picky and difficult to grow. I've killed them.
You've killed them?
Oh yeah, and every time I ask an audience how many of you have killed dogwoods, you'll get a big show of hands. Everybody's like, oh. So I'm not telling people, not to try, because of course it's such a wonderful tree and one of the Tennessee's best, actually our biggest production tree, and we've done a lot of research on that. But and also I'm going to throw the ornamental cherries in there because they're spring blooming trees, and we know when we get a call about a cherry.
We already know what it is.
And we know it's going to be canker or borer, and that we're really lucky to get a few years of pleasure out of them.
Yes.
So if people want a more durable tree, let's talk about some spring blooming trees that would be more durable. Number one, the dogwood hybrids. If you really want the look of our native dogwood, they have crossed them with Coosa dogwood. And Coosa is a later blooming, and it's a great dogwood if people want to grow an easier dogwood. The Cornus Coosa will bloom actually about now, about when the oak leaf hydrangeas start to bloom, with the leaves fully on it. So it's a different time, but it's a good tree, easier to grow, has edible fruit. But they've hybridized that with our native dogwood to increase some disease resistance. So you look for the Constellation or the Stellar series and find the ones that have the Coosa blood in there, and that makes them a little bit easier bet.
Okay.
So that would be one. Then the other would be fringe trees.
Yes.
Love the fringe trees. And we have both our Native American fringe tree, sometimes called Grantsey graybeard, or we have the Chinese fringe tree. And I actually prefer the Chinese. Sorry. But it's a little showier, the flower's a little whiter and brighter, and it stands up above the foliage, whereas the native one is a creamy white and kind of drips down in this bearded shape. And it's a beautiful tree. If you got room, get both. But if I could only have one, I'm going with Chinese just because it's showier, and the foliage to me is a little more interesting. We actually collect both at the station.
Let me ask you about this.
Yeah.
Emerald ash borer. Is that going to be a problem?
I hope not, but you're good to ask that because the emerald ash borer is also known to attack fringe trees because they are in the same family.
Right, same family.
They are in the same family as the ash. You can protect it if you decide to, but we also find that emerald ash borer prefers larger trunk trees.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe it kills all the ash. It may take aim. My big hope is it'll take aim at privet because privet's also in the same family.
Right.
So we can only hope.
That's
but
right.
Again, it likes larger plants, but that may be the end of privet. Maybe we can hope for that anyway.
Okay.
Also, some of the magnolias, the deciduous magnolias, and if you want the white flower, then I would look at Wada's Memory. Wada's Memory has got a beautiful pyramidal shape that would remind you of the Bradford, but it won't break up. It's very durable to grow in almost any situation. It's won all kinds of awards for its durability. Then let's talk about shrubs. What do we get calls a lot about? The Japanese hollies.
Japanese hollies, of course.
And the boxwoods.
And the boxwood, yeah.
So those are,
course.
your tight evergreen shrubs that a lot of people like to use for foundation plantings or for formal accents in the garden. And usually they're going to suffer from root issues.
Yes.
Poorly sited or overwatered, where if there's any kind of drainage issue, then it's going to succumb. And I think the Japanese hollies are even worse than the boxwoods.
You think so?
I do. I wouldn't put Helleri holly looks great in a pot and almost never again. And I don't like, now boxwoods I think have a certain place, so I would probably still use a boxwood if I really sited it properly with perfect drainage. They like a little bit of protection from the hot sun because they'll burn and bronze up. They like a little bit of protection from the
I don't think people
cold
realize
winter
that
winds.
though. They do actually need some protection from the hot sun.
Yeah,
I don't
they
think
do.
folks know that.
If you're gonna plant a boxwood in the sun, then you need to go with Korean box or a Japanese little leaf box. But the formal English box that a lot of people around here call American box or common box really would like some shade. It would really like some shade and protection from cold winter wind. But perfect drainage. So now if I want a tight roundy-moundy plant, you know where we're going with this. We'll say, why not use the dwarf yo pine? It's a tough little dude. It gives you the same look. It's just so cheerful about performing in a wide range of soils. So that's where I'm going with it. I'm not saying let's try to save this, just yank that out
Just get
and
it
go
out
back
of
in
there.
with the dwarf yellowpine. And there are more than one cultivar. There's
Right.
Bordeaux and Nana and several different ones that are out there.
And you know what else with the boxwood? The blight. You know, now there's something new coming down
That's
the pipe.
right.
You know,
We've got new diseases all the time.
how about that?
And that would remind us, mix it up is
Yeah,
the main issue. We should never put all our eggs in one basket,
Okay,
but
good.
sometimes we are looking for that. A lot of times we'll hear my hydrangea didn't bloom.
Yes,
My hydrangea
yes,
didn't bloom.
yes.
So the good news is that there are breeding now for these reblooming or remontant types. So I would go with those newer types that will rebloom for you. Endless Summer was the first to come out, but now Mike Durr has used that in his breeding programs. Penny Mac. There's lots of good ones out there that are rebloomers. The one called Dooley, found in Coach Dooley's
Yeah,
yard,
Coach
Vince
Dooley,
Dooley's
yeah.
yard is a very good one, reblooming type. As long as they're well sited with good drainage, you should get good performance out of those remonted or reblooming types.
Okay.
Well, another one that I hate to see used,
Uh-oh.
and people love it because of that brilliant deep purple foliage, the purple leaf plums. Yep.
It's a pretty color though.
It is a pretty
And it
one.
stands out. You know,
It
in the
does.
landscape.
It does. They're a plum.
Yeah.
It's going to get the borer.
Yeah,
The
has
original
the borer.
plant's probably going to die short order. But don't worry, we've got hundreds of them left because they sucker like mad
Right.
and come up from the roots, not just in your yard. They can come all the way over from root suckers in your neighbor's yard. And I've taken many a picture of little purple plumettes coming up through people's turf grass. So suckers like crazy. If you quit mowing it, it'll become an entire forest of purple leaf plum. I've been around old homes where you can't see the house for the purple leaf plum thicket. So I would recommend instead you go with the Burgundy loropetalums.
Oh yeah, I like those.
Yeah, they're really good, and some of them get quite large, like the plum wood, and you could limit up and turn it into a tree form instead of a large shrub. And there are breeding now for ones that stay deep purple throughout the
the
summer
color.
months, so that would be a good one. All right, and of course lelands. So we want people to mix it up and use instead the green giant arborvitaes and some junipers because the lelands are going to succumb probably to Ceridium canker
Yes.
sooner or later.
Which is a question that we get a lot
A lot,
as
another
extension
one, right,
agents.
so,
yeah, so
yeah.
mix it up a little bit.
Yes.
You'll be fine.
That's right.
Thank you for the information. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what we're about to do now is tie up our tomato plant. We want to get this plant off the ground. So let's go ahead and let me demonstrate to you how we're going to do that. And to tie your tomato plant up, you can use an old shirt. We have here an old sheet, you know, something that's not going to be too heavy. Bring it back here. We're going to tie it up, make a knot. Not going to make it too tight, just going to make it loose here. Because we want to give this plant support, but we don't want to restrict the movement of the plant. Okay? Definitely want to get it off the ground because, as you well know, tomatoes have problems with blight. All right, so that's how you tie up your tomato plant. Again, you want to get the foliage off the ground as well as the fruit because you don't want to have to deal with those fungal diseases. All right, so here's our Q&A session. Y'all ready?
Ready?
All right, here's our first viewer email from YouTube. How about that? It's from YouTube. I live in the South. I don't know what type of grass I have, but it turns yellow in the winter. I would like to find a grass that stays green all year. And this is Miss Ann. So, Miss Ann, guess what we have here today? We have Booker T. Lee, the grass guy.
The grass guy.
The grass guy. So she would like to find a grass that stays green year round. What could she use?
Well, she want to work year round. I like my grass to go dormant in the wintertime. And she probably has something like Bermuda grass or Georgia grass. Those are warm season grass. They're something going to turn brown during that time of the year. But she wants something to grow that stay green year round. And she probably go with like a fescue, a cool season grass, and that'll give you some color year round and make it, and it'll grow probably during the November months. But it will stay green year round. But to me, I like my soil to go kind of rest a little bit in the wintertime. But if she want to go with something to work, to cut and mow grass, so she can go with a cool season grass, something like fescue.
Something like a fescue.
The thing though, the fescue's not going to look real good during August.
During August, yeah.
Right,
August,
so you're going to have a little bit of problem unless you keep it really well watered. And I'm with you. I like that wheat kind of
Me
color
too.
in
I
the
do.
winter. I think it's
I do.
beautiful.
I
I have
like
zoysia,
I like
and,
it. Yeah,
and I love that color. So maybe she should tweaker.
Yeah, think about it again, especially now she got a lot of sun in there for the Bermuda grass growing to turn brown. It's not gonna do real good, a whole lot of good in the summertime because they're getting too hot, getting too heated in there. So cool grass normally do pretty good in the shaded location.
Okay.
Kinda.
Yeah, and she didn't give us her growing conditions.
But she got that grass that turning brown, and she's probably got a warm season grass like Georgia, Bermuda grass there. So, but Miss Ann, enjoy.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. It is.
Yeah, but I'm with y'all on that. I don't mind the straw looking
Me,
color
I
of
do,
my
no.
Bermuda lawn. I think it's
Especially
nice.
you don't have no weeds and nothing out there. It really look good in there and everything. And get since I cut mine twice a week, I like to just rest.
Rest.
And you want to go dormant too, right?
I want to go
Time?
dormant. I want to go dormant one of that. Yeah.
All right, so there you have it, Miss Ann. So here's our next viewer email. Is it okay to use pine needle mulch around tomato plants? And this is Miss Rebecca Jackson.
Oh,
Your
all
neck of the
right, my neck of the
woods.
woods.
Your neck of the woods. So you want to take this one? For
Rebecca, feel free to use pine needle mulch. You know, there's this myth that gets out there that it'll change the pH.
I've heard
and
that.
we know that vegetables do like a higher pH soil. That's true. But it changes the pH such a teeny bit over time that it's just not going to matter. And it's a great mulch for suppressing weeds.
Right.
I love it.
I love it too, because you know what I'm saying, is a keep the water a lot splash up on your tomato plants, whatever. And then since you don't rotate the tomato and thing around in your garden area, so it shouldn't be a big problem in your tomato plant.
No. And another thing I love about it, I can shove a whole
there you
bale
go.
of pine needle straw in the back of my CRV,
Oh, okay.
which the other kinds I can't.
Can't do it,
No.
yeah.
So you can handle that, huh?
I can
Shove
handle
it back
that.
there.
And then one thing, let water and stuff get down to that real good too. So they do two things for you.
Yeah.
It's really
Use
good.
it.
Yeah. Use it.
So you can use pine needles as mulch, Miss Rebecca. Thank you for that question. Here's our next viewer email. It appears I have different types of Bermuda grass in my lawn. Can you tell me what kind of Bermuda grasses these are? My favorite is this one. It is not string looking, but appears smooth. How can I gain consistency of the lawn over time? And this is Mr. John right here in Bartlett.
Okay.
So what do you think about that question?
Well, we have a grass plot identification.
Okay.
We got some different types of grass out there, and you can come out there and look. We don't have about 4 varieties of Bermuda grass.
Okay.
He can come out there and look at them and see which one that he like in his yard. But it seems like he might have some like Tilway hybrid or something in his yard. And one of them could be mixed with maybe look common Bermuda could have been in there too, in there when he got seeds planted, it might look a lot different and stuff in there.
Okay.
And if the lawn still out there when they first built the house, he probably might have a common Bermuda grass out there because they probably put that out there in the yard.
Okay.
But he doesn't change around, so it's a tiff green or something in there.
Because common Bermuda can be several inches tall
Right,
and have that
Sure can.
stringy
Has a
look.
stringy
like
look,
it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
joint-
so-
and then your hybrids will stay that
Small, so
short and smooth.
We got some plots out at the Agri Center, and then come out there and look at those different types of grasses that we have.
Well, he asked about how to gain consistency. Can he kill the common Bermuda without killing the Tifway?
Yeah, I don't know. It can be kind of tight in there
be
because
tough. That's
in
gonna be
there.
tough.
So
Yeah.
when they spray it in there, because both of them go dormant at the same time and
That's gonna
everything
be
in there.
tough.
So it's gonna be kind of hard to get.
Maybe if he let it grow out and get brushed over the top.
I still think it's going to be tough.
If it mixed in together, it's kind of hard to get rid of it
think
out of
so.
there. So.
I think it's going to be tough.
Okay.
Which
Start.
Bermuda do you recommend, though? Do you have one that you like?
Well, we got some variety out there now. The Latitude beginning to look good out there too. We
Okay.
have in there beginning to come through real good.
Latitude?
It's Celebration, yeah. You got-
Those are new. I
Yeah,
don't
just
know
got Celebration out there at our office. We got those two out there now, and they begin to look real good in there. So we'll see how they come in and do. So we just know this is good. And we're going to have another one out there too coming in later on. But Bridgeport, that's a new variety coming in too. Those are some of the hybrid really good. So,
Okay.
Okay.
so we got some good things that and what's so good about all these grasses he can get here.
Okay, and get here locally.
Get local, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Bermuda grass.
Bermuda grass.
Considered to be the #1 weed here in Tennessee.
I call it Bermuda the
There it
Hun.
goes.
The crab probably don't like grass.
I don't.
She like plant because she all
Well,
the
she actually planted zoysia.
I like because zoysia moves slowly, but
Moves
Bermuda
slowly, yeah.
runs into your
Then
bed.
if you get in there
Yeah,
quick, huh?
so-
You won't do his job and get away.
That's right.
Bermuda the
make homeowner mad.
Well, it's looking for your garden soil.
Legal garden soil, yeah.
that's what it's
Yeah.
looking for. All right. So, Booker, Ms. Carol, that was fun.
It was.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
Thank
All right.
you.
Remember, we love to hear from you. Send us an email or letter. The email address is familyplot@wkno.org, and the mailing address is Family Plot 7151 Cherry Farms Road, Cordova, Tennessee 38016. Or you can go online to familyplotgarden.com. That's all we have time for today. To get more information on things we talked about on today's show, go to familyplotgarden.com. You can also watch videos from past shows. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris Cooper. Be sure to join us next week for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South. Be safe.
Production funding for the Family Plot, Gardening in the Mid-South is provided by Good Winds Landscape and Garden Center in Germantown since 1943 and continuing to offer its plants for successful gardening with 7 greenhouses and 3 acres of plants, plus comprehensive landscape services. International Paper Foundation, the WKNO Production Fund, the WKNO Endowment Fund, and by viewers like you. Thank you.